Today we get real on a very special issue, missing children.
Nilikuwa nafua hapo nje, kurudi sikupata mtoto kwa nyumba.
Tumemtafuta ma children's home, wapi, polisi, tujasikia kitu yoyote.
Kuna uchungu mwingine uko nayo, lakini sasa unajipa courage juu ya wale wenye pia wamebaki pale.
As soon as you note your child is missing, within 3 hours, go report to the police, because the first 3 hours are the most important in ensuring that your child is safe.
Tamima, and this is Real Talk. Today we get real on a very special issue, missing children. We're asking, where are they now? Internationally, each year over 8 million children go missing, unfortunately in Kenya, because we don't have a proper database. The numbers are unknown. I have parents on the show tonight who'll be sharing their stories with us, how their children went missing, and for some, missing without a trace. Welcome to the show.
Kuna jirani yangu ananiambianga kwa gorofa yao, kuna mtoto alipotea tu hiyo siku yenye mtoto wangu alipotea, na hadi wa leo hajaipatikana.
Wakati wanatolewa wanaona ni kama mzazi wangu amenikujia, unaona. Na saa zile unatafuta, unaona mtoto anakuangalia na huruma, asivi siniende na mama.
He can be helped, he needs help, and I think this time when you find him, don't start by killing him.
Thanks for tuning in. Now, a parent's worst nightmare is the fear of the unknown. Where are they? Who are they with? Have they eaten? Are they hungry? Are they loved? Are they happy? Well, these are some of the questions that run through the mind of a parent who has lost a child. Tonight, my guests will be sharing their experiences of how their children have gone missing and some of the steps and actions that they have taken as parents to recover their children. Now, if you're watching this show, we also want to use this platform as a call to action and as an alert. Please pay very close attention. If you see a picture of a child and you believe that you have seen this child somewhere, please reach out via the helplines that we will be displaying on the screens. Right now, I want to introduce my first guest, who is Naomi Wanjiko. Naomi lost her daughter actually in February 2019. At only 5 years old, she has been missing now for close to a month. Naomi, welcome to Real Talk.
Yes.
So again, I have to say that my heart goes out to you as a parent, because I can only imagine the nightmare that you're living in. Perhaps tell us how your daughter went missing.
Mimi nilikuwa kazi, ninachanga mtoto wangu na sister yangu. Sasa mimi nikitokea kazi, sister yangu aliniambia tunaishingi mahali mbali na yeye, si karibu. Sasa sister yangu akaniambia mtoto amekuja huku. Nikamwambia hapana. Akaniambia nimekaangalia hapo nje sijakapata. Akaja kuja huku. Nikakaambia bado. Akaniambia hai na kanaweza kwa kanachezea wapi? Juu nimekachange uniform saa na kakavaa nguo. Nikamwambia mimi sijui. Tukaanza kukatafuta hiyo saa. Tukakatafuta tukukapata. Nikaenda police station yenye iko karibu. Nikaulizia nikasikia hakuna habari kaa hiyo. Nikatafuta nikaona ni usiku, nikasema acha nilale. Kukiamkia kesho labda mwenye ako na yeye atakuwa amemleta, labda alienda kwa mtoto mwenzake wakacheza. Akaona ni usiku mzazi, labda akamwambia lala nitakupeleka kesho asubuhi. Nikaongojea nikaona kaja kuja. Sasa asubuhi pia nikaanza kumtafuta.
Kama mama, what sort of feelings were running through you? Because
nilikuwa na stress. Nilikuwa na stress kubwa sana. Juu nilikuwa najiuliza aje anaweza potea ende wapi. Sasa akili yangu ikaniambia juu mama ya kijana tuliachananga na mama ya mzee. Tukafikiria labda wanaweza kuwa hiyo familia imemchukua. Akili yangu ilikuja tu hivyo venye nilimkosa.
Mumekuwa na issues between the two families?
Tujakuwa na issue, ni ile baba ya mtoto alikufanga. Sasa walikuwa wameniambia nipeleke mtoto akaange na shosho. Nikaambianga shosho hapana, siwezi kupea mtoto kae na yeye, wewe nitakuwa nakuletea. Na sasa venye nilikuja huku nikaona wakuja kumtembelea, sikumpelekeanga. Sasa akili yangu ikagonga mind, labda juu sikumpelekeanga alisema ajikujia mchukue.
Lakini si angekwambia?
No, sasa kumuulizia, nikampigia simu kumuulizia, tayari alistuka, akaniambia aje kapotea. Nikamwambia tangu jana tujamuona.
Today, how many days has your child been missing?
Sasa ni mwezi na wiki na siku moja. Ndio alikuwa anafikisha mwezi jana.
Kama mzazi, what is going through your mind?
Kenye iko kwa roho yangu na feel ile ati anaweza kuwa mahali pabaya. Naona ni kama mtu alimchukua, labda amemweka, hajapeleka post, hajapeleka mahali, labda alifikiria amepata mtoto. Mimi kwa mind yangu labda nafikiria hivyo.
Is this your only child?
Sina mtoto mwingine.
Thank you, Naomi. I'd like to introduce my next guest, Sarah Angulu, who lost her son Eugene in 2016. When he went missing, he was 12 years old. Please help me welcome her to the show. Sarah, karibu kwenye Real Talk. So just like Naomi, ningependa kupigia pole because I can imagine kama mama mzazi ukiwa na mtoto amepotea miaka ngapi sasa?
2.
2 years. So probably tuelezee Eugene alipotea aje?
Eugene alipotea 2016 December tarehe 14, na nilikuwa nimeenda ushago, nikamwacha na watoto wao, ndugu zake, na akatoka tu kitu 5 jioni venye walinielezea, na tangu hapo hatujamuona tena.
So watoto ambao walikuwa kwa nyumba naye wakakwambia alitoka na hivyo ndo akapotea. So kama mama ulivyosikia Eugene hayuko nyumbani, ulifanya nini?
Nilishtuka mpaka nikalia.
Fikra yako ya kwanza ilikuwa nini? Ametoroka nyumbani ama uliona hapa pengine hapana, kuna mtu amemchukua?
Hajawahi potea, ingawa kuna mentality ya akili, ana sahau. But alikuwa anaenda shule. Sasa benye alitoka, mimi nilijua tu pengine anaweza kuwa amejisahau, mtu atamrudisha. Na akurudishwa, na hivyo ndivyo venye ilikuwa mpaka leo.
Hapo awali kulikuwa na pengine another time alikuwa ametoka na akapotea hivyo akarudishwa. So ilikuwa mara ya kwanza amepotea maisha yake yote. Na ukiangalia ulisema pengine alikuwa na shida ya memory.
Yeah.
Ilikuwa kitu ameenda hospitali amediagnosiwa medically?
Alikuwa na madawa.
Ya ugonjwa gani?
Alikuwa anasema epilepsy.
Epilepsy. So immediately kama mama umesikia kijana amepotea, so ukaona pengine kijana memory haiko vizuri, ukafanya nini?
Venye nilirudi, wakati walinipigia nikiwa nyumbani, nikapanda nikarudi, nikafanya follow up.
Hiyo ilikuwa siku ngapi? Kutoka apotee na wewe kurudi?
2 days.
After 2 days. Na wale waliokuwa alikopotea walikuwa wanafanya nini?
Walipiga report
kwa polisi immediately.
Makongeni police station, Shauri Moyo, Buruburu, Jogorod na Kamkunji.
Hiyo basically ni police stations zote around that locality.
Because tunaishi Makongeni estate. So nikafuatilia, hata mimi nikarudi, nikaanza step 1 kupiga pia mi reports. Nikaenda Makongeni, Kamkunji, Jogorod, Buruburu, Shauri Moyo, Central Police, Industrialia na Pumwani.
Ukapiga ripoti kwa kule kwote?
Na Pangani pia.
Na ukifika kwenye police station ulisaidika?
Nilikuwa naambiwa niwache details na picha ya mtoto. Baadaye sikupigiwa simu nyingine after that, but niliweka posters.
All those police stations ambazo ulikuwa umeenda, ukienda unapiga ripoti, lakini hakuna mtu anakupigia baadaye kukupea update?
Ule alinipigia peke yake wa update alikuwa wa Pangani.
Akakwambia aje?
OCS wa Pangani. Akaniambia kuna mtoto amepatikana, niende hapo Pangani police station. Wakati nilienda sikupata ni yeye.
Kwa mtoto mwingine. In case there's anybody who's watching and just to help her with her plea and in her search for her son, in case you have seen him anywhere, please reach out via the numbers that are on the screen. So pengine kama wewe hivi kama mama, ukiangalia sasa mtoto alipotea 2016 akiwa na miaka
12.
Sasa hivi leo ana miaka ngapi?
14.
Yeah? Ana miaka 14, 2 years. So ukifikiria pengine kila siku ni mawazo yapi ambayo unayapitia?
Niko na mawazo juu alitoka na ni mtoto alikuwa anameza dawa. Sasa nimemtafuta mpaka nilienda Kabete, Lower Kabete Children's Home na hiyo picha. Nikaambiwa hayuko. Nikaenda hii law court ya watoto. Hapa ni Mlimani. Yeah. Nikapata walikuwa wameletwa wale wametoka Children's Home. Nikaambiwa nitafute. Sikumuona. Nikaenda paka Kenyatta National Hospital wards zote. Sikumuona. Nikaenda mpaka Good Samaritan Children's Home. Sikumpata. Nikaenda mpaka hii hospitali ya Mathare. Nikatembea, nikaambiwa
Na ukienda kule, I can just only imagine, you have to go looking at every child,
Yeah.
every child. Na watoto ni wengi.
Wanatolewa, wanawekwa hapo kwa parade. Unaangalia.
Unatafuta wako. And saa zile ukiwa pale, ni hali gani ambayo unapata wale watoto wakiwa ndani?
Jua saa kuna wengine ni wachanga sana. Wanajihurumia tu hapo mpaka wakati wanatolewa wanaona ni kama mzazi wangu amenikujia, unaona. Na saa zile unatafuta, unaona mtoto anakuangalia na huruma. Asivi siniende na mama.
Na ningependa kumuuliza Naomi, umemsikia Sara akiongea. Are you learning anything? Because she's been on this search for her son for 2 years. So for you, you've just started, which doesn't make your pain any less than hers, but are you learning anything? Because she seems like she's really done a very comprehensive search.
Nikimsikia najipea hadi mimi nguvu, naona kama yeye hajakupa hope, hata mimi nitapata tu. Sitakupa hope.
So Sarah, hivi leo, how many times do you go back to the police station? How many times do you go back
I
to
was
the
there
children's
recently,
home?
January 24th. Nilienda tena.
So for you, the candle is still burning, hope is still alive.
Yeah, alafu hata nikaenda kwa Mama Ngina Children's Welfare. Nikawapea details, huwa wanamgazeti. But sijampata, but niko na hopes nitamuona.
Okay, right. Remember, this topic continues here today on Real Talk. We are raising awareness on missing children and asking, where are they now? If you have information on any of the children that we have shared their pictures on the show this far, please get in touch with the numbers on the screen, and perhaps you could be the good Samaritan who helps in reuniting a child with their parent. Well, right now, I still have more experts on the show who will be putting perspective on this issue, because as you heard when I was talking earlier to the guests, I was trying to find out what were the steps that they took once they found out that the child was missing. And again, just what were the follow-up actions that came thereafter. So please don't go too far. We'll be right back after this break.
So I decided to go and look for him, and I went and I found him.
In town?
Yeah.
As a street child?
Yeah.
The best they can do is to take that child to the police station so that it will be in the record that that child is missing.
He can be helped, he needs help, and I think this time when you find him, don't start by caning him.
Welcome back to Real Talk. Now, our conversation on today's topic continues. We are raising the alarm over missing children and asking, where are they now? Now, did you know that Kenya has no accurate statistics, no centralized database, which is up to date with information of children who have gone missing? That is part of the reason why we are having this conversation today, so that we are hoping that you can raise the alarm, talk to your members of parliament, talk to your women reps. This is something that must be addressed, because every child is important. You had the pain in the parents who came on here as they're talking about, my child has been missing for 2 years. Can you imagine what a nightmare that is? Well, right now, I want to introduce my next guest, who also has a missing child. Please welcome to the show, Hilda. So, Hilda, I understand that your son, Felix, went missing as well. So, tell me about how he disappeared from home.
Okay, asante. Ilikuwa ni Saturday asubuhi. Tuliamka, but hatukumpata. Aliamka mbele yetu. Akatoka. Baadaye akarudi, tukishapika chai. Akarudi kama hayuko sawa, ni kama amechokozwa.
Na Felix ako na miaka ngapi?
Ako na 14 years. Sasa nikamuuliza, ni nini mbaya? Akaniambia kuna vijana wengine walikuwa wanataka kunichapa. Niwaambia wako wapi? Ati wako hapo kwa barabara. Nikamwambia sawa, enda tu kunywa chai. Sasa venye aliingia kwa nyumba akikunywa chai, mimi nilikuwa nafua hapo nje. Kurudi sikupata mtoto kwa nyumba. Akili yangu iligonga kitu saa 6. Nikauliza, naishi na sister yangu mwingine hapo. Nikamuuliza, Felix ameenda kulala? Juu kuna times akichoka ama amekasirika anaingia na lala. Akaniambia hapana, alitoka, alikupita tu hapo nje ukifua. Nikamwambia sijamuona. Sasa mwenye anamfuata akakuja, nikamuuliza, umeona Felo? Ati Felo sijamuona. Nikaangalia, nikamwambia mpaka saa hii ati hajakuja. Nikamwambia hata huko hajakuja, ati hajakuja leo. Si mbio nikatuma watoto, nikamtuma kwa shemeji yangu mwingine tena tunaishi naye hapo around. Akaenda hapo, kuenda kufika wakarudi. Wakaniambia mami hatujamuona. Hayuko. Nikashindwa kwani leo ni nini?
As a mother, what is going through your mind at that point?
Sasa hizo nilisikia tu naanza kujikata, yani nasikia sijielewi. Juu hiyo saa ijaimpata nje.
Roho inapiga because sasa unajua kuna kitu mbaya hapa.
Sasa nikasema na nitaanzia wapi sasa? Na tena hata babake pia yuko. Nitaanzia side gani? Nikasema tu Mungu nisaidie tu, ama unipa tu nguvu. At least ifike tu hata kesho nishtuke tu hata pengine hata anagonga na ingia. Nikanyamaza. Sasa yani usingizi hakuna. Ni ile tu nazunguka tu huko na huko tu usiku mzima. Nikafika asubuhi. Hiyo asubuhi nikapigia babake. Juu hiyo siku nikajaribu kumpigia hizo masaa 4 hapo usiku wa kushika. Nikapiga asubuhi sasa akashika. Nikamwambia Felo ajarudi. Ati ajarudi ati mumeenda kwa mama Efi. Nikamwambia huko tulienda na hata tena tumeamkia asubuhi hakulala huko. Akaniambia sawa, anza tu kuangalia. Tukazunguka tu hiyo Sunday yote. Nikarudi. Babake tena akanipigia hajapatikana. Nikamwambia bado hajapatikana. Akaniambia kwani leo alienda wapi? Ikafika usiku tena. Akanipigia bado hajapatikana. Nikamwambia bado hajapatikana. Akaniambia sasa hiyo itabidi kesho uamke uende shule yao, uende police station. Sasa venye niliamka mimi ndio hiyo nikaenda shule. Nilikuwa nasoma special school Little Rock. Ndio alikuwa nasomea. Sasa venye nilifika hapo wakaniambia mama Felix umetutembelelea asubuhi. Nikamwambia sasa akaniambia ni school fees ama ni aje? Nikamwambia hapana, nimekuja kuripoti Felix amepotea. Felix alipotea. Sasa pia wakashtuka, akaniambia wapi, nini ilifanyika aje? Nikamwambia Felix alipotea on Saturday. Mpaka saa hii hajarudi. Akaniambia sawa, fanya hivi, itabidi uende Kilimani utuletee OB number, alafu tutafute venye tutampost kwa Facebook. Nikaenda Kilimani, nikaripoti, nikaacha picha hapo.
Na ukifika pale Kilimani ulisaidika?
Nilisaidika juu nilipewa nafasi ya kuandikisha hizo vitu zote. Jina yake, venye anakaa, manguo yenye alivaa hizo siku, akienda, kila kitu. Nikaambiwa niwache picha hapo, wakanipatia hiyo OB number. Nikarudi nikatembea kwa hizo police station zetu, hizo tuko nazo hapo karibu, hizo Olympic. Tukaenda nikapiga tena ripoti, nikaacha tena picha hapo. Sasa the following Monday, Tuesday, sasa ni kuenda tu huko na huko.
Sasa hivi leo amekuwa amepotea siku ngapi?
Sasa ni wiki yake ya 7 weeks.
7 weeks.
Yeah.
Na kama mama ni mawazo gani ambazo kila siku ukiamka unasema mtoto wangu ako wapi?
Mpaka ufikirie juu. Unaona saa zile mkiwa kwa nyumba lunchtime ama sapa mkikula. Unaona hakuna saa nyingine hapa. Kuna sahani hakuna hapa. Sasa saa zile tu kila kitu ama saa zingine unafua, unafikiria kuna nguo sijaosha hapa. Ikifika saa breakfast kuna kikombe hakuna hapa. Sasa unaona ni kama kuna uchungu mwingine uko nayo, lakini sasa unajipa courage juu ya wale wenye pia wamebaki pale. Juu sasa tuseme nimejipatia tu tena stress ile kabisa, tena ndaumeza hao wengine. Sasa ni ile tu alafu na kuomba. By the way, maombi ndiyo imenifikisha hapa. Si kujua nitafika leo, but ni maombi ndiyo imenifika hapa.
Sawa, asante. I'd like to introduce my next guest, Michelle Mirithi, whose son has also been missing. So her son has been missing for 2 weeks. Please help me welcome her to the show. Michelle, welcome to Real Talk.
Thank you.
So Michelle, probably you've been in the audience, you've had the different parents sharing how their children went missing. So please tell us, how did your child go missing?
My child went missing 2 weeks ago. It's almost 2 weeks ago on Saturday, but he has been having that problem of going. Last year, he was on and off.
So he ran away?
Yeah. Yeah, he was on and off last year. Then he came and settled. Then now he has gone back again.
So what happened when he ran away the first time?
It was very difficult for me because it was something that I've never experienced. So he ran away. I just sent him to the shop. Then he went. So I looked for him everywhere. I didn't find him. I went and reported at Buruburu police station. He was nowhere to be found. Only that someone came and told me, I've seen your child in town. So I decided to go and look for him. And I went and I found him.
In town?
Yeah.
As a street child?
Yeah.
So what was his reaction when he saw you coming up to him?
He didn't run away. And
He walked towards you?
And the many times he's gone there, when he sees me, he doesn't run away. Just come, Mom.
So when you talk to him and try to find out, why does he run away from home and prefer living on the streets?
He just tells me he just feels something telling him to go to the streets.
So does he have an addiction problem, maybe drugs?
No. But the moment he started going to the street, he was using this thing called, I think it was, he stayed for like 2-3 weeks. Then the chokoras used to beat him to sniff the glue.
Now when he was living on the streets, and these are the streets of Nairobi.
Yeah.
Does he have any other siblings?
Yeah.
How many?
A sister, one.
Older or younger?
Younger.
So
he's the firstborn.
So he's the firstborn.
Yeah.
So perhaps have you tried talking to him just to understand maybe, because he's a teenager.
Yeah.
Is he going through something?
Okay, I talked to him. He told me anataka baba yake. So I was like, the dad is nowhere. I mean, those men who are not there.
Single parent,
I'm a single
so you've
parent,
raised him by yourself all along.
Yeah.
And is his dad alive today?
He's alive. But
have you reached out to him?
I've tried to talk to him. Then he's like, yani, those people hawana shughuli na watoto wao. Yeah.
So have you had anyone else try to talk to him, perhaps now your son, perhaps trying to bring him around? Because I can imagine how hurting it must be for you as a parent, because he's missing by choice. So today when we are having this conversation, you have no idea where he is.
I was in the streets on yesterday and on Sunday, and I asked some of the parking boys. They told me, ule kijana anakuja lakini avuti glue. Nikawambia, wakaniambia hebu nionyeshe picha yake, akaniambia tunalalanga na yeye hapo Odeon. So I've been to Odeon, I've not seen him. Yeah.
So when you meet him and when he's on the streets, does he show you where he hangs out?
Yeah, by there, like last year, he showed me at Naivas Moi Avenue. Kuja akaniambia, mama hapa ndio mimi ulala. Ananiambia, mama pale Mdhurwa kuna mama yeye unipatia chapati na supu, si kama umjue. Yani nikimuuliza ni nini, it's like, si mimi nasikianga tu kitu inaniambia niende kwa streets.
And when he's there, has he found himself in a situation that perhaps has put him or his security at risk?
At some point, sijui kama ni kupigwa alipigwa ama alikuwa anapelekwa na pikipiki, ilimpata amegwarwa sana kwa uso. Yeah.
And even despite all this, he still prefers living on the streets.
It's not him. He's saying it's not him. He usikia tu kitu inamwambia ende kwa streets.
So today, if you found your son on the streets of Nairobi, what actions would you take?
Like I was telling my friend, kuna saa zingine you go to an extra mile. Nimekuwa nikimspare na mbembeleza to avoid arudi kwa hiyo streets. But now, I think I'm going to cane him badly. Ile imekuwa so painful for me now. I'm not sleeping because for last year he has not been in school. Sunday tulikuwa tunaenda registration ya class 8. I just talked to a friend of mine.
So this year he was supposed to be sitting class 8,
Yeah.
which he can't sit now.
I believe he will. I believe he will.
So you believe you will find him?
Yeah. And
Straighten
he'll go
him
back
out
to school.
and put him back in
Yeah.
school as a candidate?
Yeah.
Okay, I'd like to introduce Purity Njenga, who is a family therapist at Lighting Light Counseling Center. And I just want her to put this issue into perspective for us, especially Michelle's case, because has to do a lot with, you know, adolescence crisis. And as a mother, you can tell that she's really struggling and she's at her wit's end. So probably Purity.
Maybe I want to say that your son has an issue, an internal issue that is bothering him, and in his running away, he's just reacting and seeking for attention. Actually, your son needs help, and he can surely be helped. He can be helped, he needs help, and I think this time when you find him, don't start by caning him. Start by finding help for him from professionals. He has a psychological issue. He needs, one of them you've already mentioned, he's still seeking for his father. So he needs to be helped to settle those things, to know that it's not his fault that his father is not there. It's not the mother's fault that the father is not there. He needs help. He will be helped, and he can be settled. I also want to say for you, you also need help, so that you can be able to know how to deal with him and to deal with the issues. You have been through pain also. You're angry at him. He's hurt you, you know, all those things. So I think there is help, and it's important for the community to know that there is help available. There are social workers. For me, I'm a psychological counselor, and counseling is available. And there is help, and he can be helped, and your case can be resolved. Thank you.
Do you believe that he can be
yes,
helped?
yeah.
Absolutely. So are you willing probably to link up with her and perhaps see when she's mentioning her help? Because I'm sure if you really sit down as a mother and open up to her about perhaps has your son been through anything traumatic in his life within the home situation?
I don't know, unless he can tell us. As for me, I don't know.
So he's never brought that up to you as a mother? Okay. So I also want to introduce my other expert today. I have here with me Georgina Nyambura, who is a children's officer at Umoja Women Help Mobile Center. Georgina, so probably still on Michelle's case, because you work at Umoja at a health center. So perhaps if you could talk to her as a mother, because I'm sure ukiwa pale, you know, ukiwa pale on the ground, you must see some of the worst of it.
That's true. As you are told, my name is Georgina. I'm the VCO, Volunteer Children's Officer, and I run a project on health where we have a child protection program. And as my friend said, that on the ground there is so much happenings about children lost and found, missing, carries so many components. And that's why we have lost and found. For you, we have had these cases. When a child runs away, we say is truancy. You are supposed to report to the police immediately so that you get an OB, because anything can happen.
Can I ask, you've reported?
Yeah.
Each time he goes missing, you file a report.
Yeah.
And as you as well, you always report as well.
Yeah. So in case the child is found, we are able to know, we have a WhatsApp group, Nyumba Kumi WhatsApp group. If a child is lost, we put it in the WhatsApp. And we also involve the Nyumba Kumi because we have Nyumba Kumi all over. And through those clusters, they are able to know the neighbors who have children, and they know their children's neighbors. So that will help us a lot. But there are instances where a child goes missing completely. So in that case, the police have to keep on trying to make sure that they send their signals all over the country to see whether that child can be found.
Okay, so still more to come here on Real Talk. I'll be taking a very quick break. Don't go too far.
Within 3 hours, go report to the police because the first 3 hours are the most important in ensuring that your child is safe.
There is no definition of a missing child. What we have is a definition of what care and protection for a child is.
So they told me, go with the child, leave your contact. If anyone reports, we'll come and call you and come for the child.
So I'm here at Kibagari in Kangemi area. This is an informal settlement, as you can see. Well, as we are spotlighting the issue of missing children, the reality is sometimes the child actually ran away from home. I'm going to be linking up with a community volunteer who actually works with children who most of the time end up being runaways. Come with me. John, how many kids do you have in total across both your houses?
For the boys' side, we have 12, and for the girls' side, we have 8.
So how do these kids end up in your care?
So whenever there's a case of a missing child, age 5 and above, they will be handed over to me.
So you're the first line for the community. They bring them to you first.
First, they will report to the police.
Okay.
Then the police will call me.
Because they need somewhere to keep the child, even if it's overnight or for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So in the midst of now volunteering, because we are saying that when it comes to missing children, it's a very wide, complex topic because there are kids who choose to miss. They run away from home. And in your care, do you have any of those who have confided in you, perhaps in the counseling sessions, that they ran away from home for one reason or the other?
Yeah, majority of them, they decided to open up, saying that this and this happened, like for the girls.
Yeah.
For the girls, they will say that I lost my mom and my uncle tried to take advantage.
Okay, then in the context of, have you had a chance where perhaps a child in your care has been reunited with their family?
Yeah, we have 2. That was last year in August. I happened to meet the mother and I felt like, I think I have seen this lady somewhere. So, and I remember there was one of the girls had a pendant, yeah, and it had a mother's picture. So I approached the lady and we became friends. We started talking for a couple of weeks, and she told me that she lost her 2 daughters, and I decided to do my investigation to find out whether it's true. So they were reunited, and the mother narrated to me the same story that the children had told me.
So had they run away, the kids, or?
They had run away,
yeah,
because of their abusive father.
Okay.
Yeah.
And in the context of now missing children, perhaps what happens if the children who perhaps you've not been able to reunite them with their families, what happens to them?
Okay, if they are taken to Milimani Law Court for the parade and they fail to be identified, they'll come back to me. Then I'll draft a letter, give it to the children's officer, whereby the children's officer will also write a letter to several children's home within Western Sub-County. If there is space, we'll take those who will be admitted over there. And if they fail, they will have to return here.
So when they're with you, do you take them to school? What happens?
When they're here, we have volunteers.
Yeah.
I have friends who have a golden heart that wants to help. So I always approach them and I tell them, I have this new kid. Would you please do something, because he or she can't stay at home while others are in school. So, and they will do something.
So you run it purely through Good Samaritans?
Yeah.
So the government does not support in any way?
No, no.
And for the kids to go to school, they have to go to private schools?
They have not only in private school. Like I told you, we have a school over here known as
St. Martin's. Yes.
It was a children's home. That's where I grew up in. But now it's a school whereby per term we pay 700. So I will talk to the sister, or some of the teachers, they will talk to the sister. Then they will admit 2 or 3 of them. So 700 per term, that's not a big money.
Right.
So I'll talk to my friends and they will pay.
Okay.
They will not only pay for 1 term, they will pay for like a year.
Okay.
So that's, and food is being provided, lunch and breakfast is provided in there. So the only thing that I can provide for the boys is only supper.
So for you, you handle the accommodation where they sleep.
Yeah.
They have a structured life. They're not on the streets. And so you follow up. So what's the longest you've had a child for?
5 years.
So you had him from when he was age?
He was 10.
10 years, and
Yeah.
now he's 15.
Now he's 15.
So you've been responsible for his schooling and all his basic needs all throughout.
In primary, I was responsible, but when he joined Form 1, he performed very well because he got 361. And while he was in class 8, he only attended class for like a month because he was very sick. He had a heart problem. So, but for me, I said that he performed well, and he's now been schooled by one of my friends in UK.
Well, thank you, John. So it's been amazing coming here and just seeing, and of course you're doing an amazing job in the community, touching as many lives as you do. And I'm sure if there's anybody who's watching out and they want to reach out to you, perhaps to lend a helping hand, how can they?
Okay, we are known as La Familia Hope Initiative, based in Kibagare, Slum. So my number is 0724 826 352, or Gmail nyangoso@gmail.com. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Karibu.
Welcome back to Real Talk. Now, our conversation on today's topic continues: missing children. Where are they now? Earlier on, you had the stories from the parents, mothers who have lost their children. Right now, I have experts who will be putting this issue into perspective, because there are things that you can do as a parent as soon as your child goes missing. We want you to get it right. And outside of that, all of us as a society, we must now take a very deep look at ourselves, look at our child protection laws. Are they good enough? Do they protect our children? Because nobody wakes up planning for their child to go missing, but until it happens to you or somebody that you love is when you'll realize why we must all stand up, protect our children. So right now, I want to introduce my 2 guests. I have Jennifer Kabiri, who is a trustee of Missing Children Kenya and also the founder of Mtoto News. And again, Purity, who spoke earlier, who will be our counselor in this session. So let me perhaps start with Jennifer, because you were in the audience the entire time. And for you, as somebody who's part of Missing Children Kenya, you are like, okay, Tamima, I have a few points that I have to make, because I sympathize with all the parents who've lost their children, but we must get it right. Because otherwise, this problem becomes a bottomless abyss with no hope of ever finding these children. So we must first get it right as parents. We must first also get it right within the laws of Kenya, and also alternatively, those who work within the sector, you know, child services, the police themselves.
So I'll start by saying that I really feel for all the parents. We get 3 calls a day, and every time a parent is crying, mtoto wangu amepotea. And what I would urge parents, nimesikia wazazi wenye wamekuja wote hapa, watu wamesema tulikojea mtoto atakuja jioni. So that's the biggest problem you can ever do. As soon as you note your child is missing, within 3 hours, go report to the police, because the first 3 hours are the most important in ensuring that your child is safe. Okay, especially if your child has a developmental problem or is a special needs, you know. They might have fallen somewhere. I've had several who say their children are epileptic. Yeah, so they would have fallen somewhere and nobody will know where they are. I'll give an example. We had a child who went missing like 5 years ago, and he was epileptic and he had autism. But for us, when we're talking about children with special needs, we define them from 21 years old and below, so they don't end up at 18. So it's 21. So that child, we've been looking for that child for about 5 years. And so that child, you know, they went missing, they were nonverbal, they did not know who they are. So that child was found and was put in a hospital. So I'm giving hope to parents whose children are missing. Was put in a hospital, they shaved him, they changed his name in the hospital, but he was found. So what he's found is one of our posters, a nurse in that hospital looks at them and says, this is not the same boy who's been in the hospital, been trying to look for his parents, and they looked and they found that child. So and the best thing, those parents, they have been very consistent in reporting. The first 3 hours, don't wait to tomorrow. Ati ndagoja kesho, ati jioni amekasirika leo tu atakuja kesho. Usigoje.
I want to ask my audience, uko pale kwenye estate, umeona mtoto amepotea, then out of your good heart, ukasema si ni usiku, acha nimchukue, tulale, na pengine for others, tulale inakuwa sasa tuishi. Maybe I don't have a baby girl, so this is God's blessing to me, but it could also be a lot of pain for another woman somewhere who has lost a child. So nataka kuuliza pengine, who has been in that situation where you're like, I didn't know, but saa zile nikichukua nilikuwa nasaidia. Show of hands. Maybe let's hear from you.
Hello, thank you. I'm Anne Wamboi. Yeah, for me, it was a different situation. I was just walking in the estate. Then I sat somewhere, we were chatting with other women. Then there are those caravans that pass, they sing, and so many children follow the caravans.
The caravans that
yeah,
she mentioned.
the caravans, yeah. So the caravan came and stopped there, and the music ended. So the children were like, let's go back home. So one of them was left, and the child just came and sat where we were. She doesn't talk, she's just there. So we took the child to the police station. The nearest one was Jogo Road. So we reported, and then the police told us, we can't leave the child here. So as a parent, I said, okay, what should I do? So they told me, go with the child, leave your contact. If anyone reports, we'll come and call you and come for the child. So the next day at around 9:30, the police called me. They told me there is a person who's claiming that the child is lost. She's deaf, she doesn't hear, she's like this. I told them, I have the same girl in my house. Can you just send a car and come and pick the child? So I went and took the girl to the police station. I was so amazed, but I felt pity for myself. As a country at whole, we need to sensitize people to learn sign language so that, you see, this kid, I didn't know whatever the way to communicate. She doesn't know how to write. For me, I don't know sign language. I found myself a miserable parent.
But you did a good thing because you followed all the correct steps.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, I want to involve Eliud. Yeah, Eliud Njagi is an advocate of the High Court. So what I want to discuss with him specifically is around, you know, this is a republic, we have laws, but are our child protection laws adequate, Eliud?
Thank you very much. Our laws are not quite adequate. We were having a conversation earlier on with the panelist who is on set right now. And, well, let me start it off from the Constitution provides for the rights of the children under Article 53. That a child has a right to education, has a right to protection, has a right to health care, and all that. And then it gives birth, the Constitution gives birth to an act called the Children's Act, which was actually came to force in 2001. This Children's Act provides for, in detail, the rights of the children. And then it goes into details on what do you do where a child needs care and protection. So it gives a procedure of what should be done when a child needs care and protection, and the procedure to follow if your child has been taken up by the director of the Children's Services.
But is it clear on the, because obviously it acknowledges that the need to protect children, but is it clear on the distinction of when is a child defined as missing? And how does the law cover and cater for that?
That is actually the gap. There is no definition of a missing child. What we have is a definition of what care and protection for a child is. And therefore, that's a gap that is being amended through a bill that is still in conversation, and we hope it will come to fruition probably later this year or next year, that particular gap will be mended.
So what would it take for that bill to get hastened? Because hearing from her that every day she gets 3 calls, and you can imagine there are so many parents who don't know that her organization exists because it's a private NGO, right? So ideally, what do we need to do as citizens? Because watoto ni wetu wote. So if you're saying next year, but you're hearing, ideally, what are the statistics? How many children go missing, if you were to guess?
So we get 3 calls every day. Can I help him to answer the question? Right now, I'm in the committee that is developing the children's bill, and we have gone to a very advanced stage. The bill is at the AG's office. So, Wakenya, I am begging you, call your member of parliament, call your children officer, tell them that bill needs to be in parliament by April. So because it's ready, and it's an awesome law that is going to cover some of these gaps, including defining who a missing child is. You know, we have said, because missing children are in 4 or 5 categories. There's a lost, those ones like that one who got lost because they had followed a caravan. There's the one who runs away. There's the abducted one. There's the kidnapped one. You know, so and we have done in the bill. It is so clear and what procedures you need to take when a child goes missing. So you just don't sit home, and that's what I'm saying. The first 3 hours are very, very important.
Let me ask Purity on that, because, and I like how she defined that there are different categories of missing children, because there's the runaway, whereby the child was not taken out of malice, the child is not lost. They chose to leave the home, and that brings us back to the question of social services.
Yes.
Which again goes back to the child protection laws. Are they adequate? Are they enforced well?
The laws, just like the people in that field have said, there's a gap. But not to mention that when you notice these things in a family, it is a loud cry. I have a problem. It's a child trying to communicate. So any missing child, whether voluntary or involuntary, the impact is very negative, both to the child and to the parent. So there is a gap to be addressed when it comes to the legal aspect of it. But what I would really want to say is that a child can be saved by a parent if we are sensitive, if we learn to communicate, if we learn to play with our children, if we learn to keep close. Parents are too busy for the children. Therefore, children are left to seek out in very many areas, relationships. They also want to relate. And when they can't find a person to relate with, they go out there to seek. Most of them will get opinion from their friends. You know, tukienda mahali fulani tutapata hii na hii. But if you had been in good contact with your child, then they are more informed. They'll come to ask you, Mom.
So talking to them, communication,
yes,
you must raise them up
have
well.
a relationship.
Absolutely.
Well, we should also notice that there is that involuntary kidnapping and those other areas. So it's not meant like to blame so very much. It's not kind of blame. It's just
it's a factor.
I'm putting it to allow the sensitivity and awareness.
Okay. I want to ask Jennifer, because you know that there's a dark side to how this story ends.
Yeah.
Because there are parents who are fortunate enough, they find their children. But then there are those who are either in 2 categories. Your child becomes a cold case, whereby it's just the unknown. You don't know whether they're alive or they are dead. And then there are those that, unfortunately, they get closure, but it's the worst kind of closure that a parent has to hear.
So I will start by saying, first, the government, through the Department of Children's Services, has a child protection information management system, which is a database for all child protection issues all over the country. And as the VCO has said, that database is updated weekly. So there's that. And the missing child, we've just talked with them, and they have just included a data set for missing children. So that is there. So yes, and we have them. Right now we have 120 children still missing. Right. Some of them as more than 2 years, including her son, you know. We have children who unfortunately we find who have died, and that is the one of the lowest moment in the office, when you get that call, tulipata mtoto lakini tulipata amekufa, you know. And like by yesterday we had about, in our database we had about 20 who we have found deceased.
So let me ask, what usually are the circumstances around the death of these children?
So some of them, the child actually died because they maybe fell down, there was an accident and they were missing, okay? And then some of them, like the baby who died 2 days ago, we really don't know, but we suspect it's something to do with a family feud, so, you know? So, and you find, because of that, quite a number of the ones we have found that it's because of a family feud. And where, like the ones in Eldoret, we found there were 3 of them, they died, and because of a family feud, but some of them because they were sick.
Absolutely. Obviously, this is a large topic, and I really hope that we have encouraged you to join this conversation, raise the alarm, talk to your leaders. In fact, as you're watching this show, get on Twitter, tweet your president, letting him know that there's a bill that he needs to speed up, because these are our kids. We must protect them. And I really hope that for any parent whose child is missing, as you're watching this, I pray for you, I pray for your family. I pray that you find your child safe and sound. And at the same time, we must all stay vigilant, be on the alert. Go check out Missing Children Kenya on Facebook. Take the time. Go through. If you want to volunteer, we have so many jobless youth. Volunteer with our organization, because ultimately you'll be giving something back. Well, that's it from me, Tamima, on today's episode. Until next time, thank you so much for tuning in.
Special thanks to E+ for medic and ambulance services.